There's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie overlawd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all. Sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie overlawd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know. In Melbourne town, where the suits all grind, there's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie overlawd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all. Sharing legal.
That was went from the song to the BBC countdown. Nice. Yeah, sorry about that. For some reason, it doesn't really matter, let's face it. So, hang on. Now, session should have the chat box coming up, so fingers crossed that should be right working. Featured one's working. Okay, fingers crossed I managed to sort out what was going on with the chat box. For those of you that were watching Vices last night, you may or may not have seen a few weird things going on in the chat, because I was borrowing his chat link to play around with the one in here. So that's why I made the elephant joke by accident. But there we go. Was the music supposed to stop after the flavor clock? Yes. And I screwed that up. But, shit happens. Anyway, today, it's all about the flaming... Can't even get through that joke. It's all about the flaming flamethrower. Fido is looking to flame your ass. So, we're going to talk about that very briefly, but the other thing is, obviously, Musk and the E-Safety Commissioner are due back in court today. We're going to have a look at that, what the news is saying about that. And beyond that, we have... Oh, hang on, tell me I didn't just accidentally do that. You want one? I want one. But see, here's the thing. You want Skynet? Because this is how we get Skynet. And as bad as it sounds, I kind of feel like getting attacked with a flamethrower is worse than just being shot with a laser. Apparently, women are paying $500 a pop to get salmon sperm injected into their hoo-has. Ladies, you do some crazy shit, but that one's got me completely out of it. A bunch of communities in the Northern Territory have been rattled after Chinese boat arrivals have just randomly walked into a military airbase. And Karen the ostrich has died. We'll talk about that too. Welcome to today's episode of Law News and Laughter, people. Yes, Stingy, I did see your thing about the Prime lawsuit. I did actually mean to open that, and I didn't, so thank you for reminding me. Bring that across here, and I could add that in as well. But we're going to start with the Thermonator. The flamethrowing robot dog can now be yours for just $9,420. That's a very specific price. Like... I get it, it's one of the Boston Dynamic robots. It's just like... But at the same time, the flamethrower itself is terrifying. The year is 2024, and technology is doing incredible things. For the first time ever, you can purchase a walking robot dog with a flamethrower on its back. Yes, the Thermonator, which was announced late last year, is finally available for purchase in the United States. Shockingly, the product can be yours for a mere $9,420, which is a lot of money, but still seems like it's weirdly low priced for a fire-breathing robot. Yeah. Although the fact that it's only got like an hour's lifetime, a hour battery time, maybe get back to me when they put the thermonuclear batteries in, like in Terminator. Not sure what you'll do with this fire spouting contraption once you've bought it, but I know for one thing you'll never, ever, ever use it to cause anyone problems ever. Right? Of course not. The Thermonator, the product of Ohio flamethrower manufacturer Throwflame, is a 26-pound robotic quadruped that comes equipped with one of the company's characteristics ARC flamethrowers mounted on its back. The bot can shoot fire in a 30-foot stream arc and comes with a built-in fuel tank powered by gasoline. The company says the robot also has an hour-long battery life, a laser sight, and LiDAR mapping, and can be remotely controlled via the company's app. It still just seems creepy to me. Where are we? Hey, Berbers. Look at the website. There's more videos of it. Oh, don't worry. There's videos galore of this. Previous reporting noted that the Thermonator appeared to be built off of the Unitary Geo 1 quadruped robot, a small lightweight machine that sports a number of different sensors and cameras in order to aid in autonomous navigation. Throwflame claims that its product is for good for wildfire control and prevention. Well, yeah, look, creating a secondary line of a flame and, not having to put firefighters at risk and all that sort of stuff, that's fine. I don't think this thing can outrun a fire, though, if it starts one and the wind picks up. Looks like something in a Black Mirror. A little bit. The entertainment and special effects sounds pretty good, though. And the snow and ice removal, although it seems like it would be especially good for committing mass arson. The Thermonator is the first ever flamethrower-wielding robot. This quadruped is coupled with the arc flamethrower to deliver on-demand fire anywhere, the company's website excitedly states. Throwflame also provides buyers with free shipping, which is a nice thing to have if you're buying a fire-breathing robot. I guess. Fighting big birds. Oh, you think that if you thought that the audio for the Aussie Overlaw'd theme song is good, you wait till you hear the one that I did about the Emu War. I'm a little bit proud of that. Controlled burns for forest management. Look, maybe. I get that that's what they're proposing it's for, but I call bullshit. Laser sight on the thing is not scary at all. You just randomly see a red dot. You expect a bullet. Sorry, green laser dot, I should say. You expect a bullet, but no, it's just a wall of flame coming at you. Sorry, what? What was that? Now I become death, I am the destroyer of worlds. Way to say the quiet part out loud. Let me listen to that again.
The destroyer of worlds.
Oh, I love that. That is hilarious. Supposedly said by Oppenheimer and is from a religious book. Oh, no shit. There you go. Look, it looks cool. I will agree with you on that, Angel Wolf. But now I've just got the image of, like, say, half a dozen of them walking down a street with soldiers behind them. Just. And when I say soldiers, I mean their robotic counterparts. Like the Optimus robots or whatever. And they're just standing there holding the arc flamethrowers as well. Just, you will comply or you will lose your pubes. So, love the uplifting I'm not dangerous music. There was nothing not I'm not so sure that I'm happy with the music on that. But, hang on. Where's their website gone? The Thermonator is the first ever flamethrower-wielding robot dog. This quadruped is coupled with the arc flamethrower to deliver on-demand fire anywhere. Holy... Like... Is this a new Transformers trailer? So people are legit selling these. Yes, they really are. There is a company that is selling this. This is... On the what? Oh, it's tiny. Wow, the video makes it look so much larger, but I mean, that might just be forced perspective, but it doesn't actually look all that big in that photo. Defective one lifts the leg than Peace Flame. Wonder if they're going to fight the skibbity toilets. Maybe. One hour battery, 30-foot range, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled. Oh, it's got Bluetooth, so it can be hacked. That's what you want. Your flamethrower wielding robot dog to be able to be hacked by someone with a mobile phone. First, the armed home defense AI camera, now a flamethrower throwing dog bot. Where the fuck do you find this dystopian nightmare fuel? I told you, I bring you the stuff that is out there that you're not going to see in mainstream media. You're not going to see, like, MSNBC or, like... I don't know why I immediately jumped to Al Roker, because... No, I'm not going to make that joke. Never mind. You're not going to see this in mainstream media. You're not going to understand that, oh yes, they are developing flamethrowing robot dogs that can be controlled by a smartphone. Because you can't tell me it's not a hop, skip, and a jump for a like a Tommy gun or something to be like Tommy gun. Jesus Christ, Hayden. Just tell me you don't know much about firearms without telling you don't know much about firearms. Heard Columbia University just ordered 20 of them. Imagine if one was accidentally delivered to Mighty. I wouldn't worry because I know Mighty. He'd spend his time taking the damn thing apart, and eventually there'd be a... And he too would be missing part of his mustache and beard. But I know that no one else would get hurt, so I think that's okay. No, Tommy guns are illegal, unlike flamethrowers. Wildfire control and prevention, agricultural management. Badger. Snow and ice removal, entertainment. Well, it was certainly entertaining, and for special effects. Oh my god, could you imagine if they mounted like a firework, like Roman candles on the top of it, and they just... That could be cool. Cookouts would be awesome with that thing. That is true. There's already a gun drone, but it ain't cheap. Oh, okay. Ultimate firepower companion. The future of fire delivery has arrived with LiDAR mapping, FPV navigation, and instant arc ignition. That's a press kit. Oh my god, they got a flamethrower drone and it's only $1,600. Are you serious right now? Oh, that one sure... The waivers before you even click buy. I understand this purchase does not give me the right to operate a drone or unmanned aircraft. within the with the TF-19 Wasp attachment. So you're not allowed to take the flamethrower off of this thing and put it on another thing. I take full responsibility for obtaining the necessary licenses and waivers to operate a drone or aircraft system with the TF-19 Wasp attachment. I understand that operating a drone in the US with this attachment would require a Part 107 waiver. Purchasing the attachment, I take full responsibility for the consequences of using it. I agree that neither X-Matter LLC nor Throwflame LLC nor any of their employees, members, or agents are responsible for anything that occurs as a result of my use of the device. I assume full responsibility for using it. I understand that the attachment is inherently dangerous, and I assume full responsibility for that purchase. Combine this with the home defense camera and control the Thermonator with their camera. Oh shit, you probably could. Or, at the very least, you could take the mini Wasp one off of it and just... You have 5 seconds to comply. Paintball straight to the head. You have 4 seconds to comply. Massive thing of flame. You have 3 seconds to comply. Missile launcher. Improper use may be accompanied by a burning sensation. The ultimate accessory for your simply safe home security system. Oh, I love that. And it's still got a 25-foot range. Up to 100 seconds of firing time. So it's not, it hasn't got a huge reserve or anything. But, like, it'd get the job done. That's almost 2 minutes worth of throwing flame. It's what, let's say 100 seconds. So that's 1 2/3 of a minute. So that's not bad. We don't need Crispy Clive if Sean Boomers it. What's it say in the press kit? Oh, where's this drone? Good God, that was loud.
Introducing the TF-19 Wasp drone flamethrower. The Wasp is built to withstand all sorts of conditions, both cold and hot. With 25 feet of range and 1 gallon of fuel capacity, the TF-19 Wasp can deliver over 1.5 minutes of continuous...
You know, they say there's a little bit of a pyromaniac in everyone. There's a little kid sitting in my chest right now, the same one that accidentally lit my mum's car on fire, that's sitting there going, want, 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 want. Creators of these drones have been playing a lot of Tom Clancy's Division 1 and 2. Still should have been called a Flamehawk. If the common man can carry something like that, I hate to think what the government has that we'll never find out about. Generally, the rule of thumb is my understanding is the general rule of thumb is that whatever's commercially available to the public is about 5 to 10 years behind what is otherwise available in experimental, so.
Continuous firing time. Designed to reach new heights.
I tell you what, that is a big-ass drone, though.
An array of utility for professional users who demand tools that exceed expectations.
That exceed
Quickly
expectations.
refuel and make CG adjustments with one simple motion and no tools required. Thanks to its unique rail slider system, you will be hitting the sky within minutes of arrival on site. With an onboard FPV camera, pilots have a real-time view to navigate confidently through complex environments. Constructed from ultralight...
What kind of fuel does it take? I think it's just a gasoline. Oh, a wasp nest. Here we go.
3K carbon fiber, the TF-19 Wasp is built to support maximum flight time while holding strength paramount. Instantly deliver precision streams of fire with the TF-19's high-power plasma ignition system. A game changer for clearing vital infrastructure, igniting remote vegetation, and eliminating...
Bye-bye wasp nest. A gallon of it. Yeah, that's pretty freaking
pests.
cool.
The Wasp attachment is a versatile fit for any...
You know how they say some people just want to watch the world burn? Not all the time is it maliciously.
system and capable of any mission, no matter how tough.
That's pretty cool. Throw Flame in Cleveland, Ohio. Sean, You need to get on the horn to these people. At least have someone on for an interview. Holy crap. Is the oldest flamethrower manufacturer in the US. Throwflame is designed on, is focused on developing top-tier flamethrowing systems made by veterans to customers around the world. In 2015, Throwflame released the first ever full-size commercially available flamethrower, the X15. It sends a stream of flaming fuel or napalm up to 50 feet. It's completely unrestricted in 48 states. This unregulated flamethrower sparked a significant media response relating to legality. However, flamethrowers remain federally unregulated. This means that anyone can buy one without background checks or a waiting period. With quick shipping, just like an Amazon package, Throwflame has delivered thousands of X15s around the globe. In late 2015, Democrat Congressman Elot Engel introduced House Bill HR 4009 to Congress in an attempt to regulate flamethrowers. The legislation would treat flamethrowers as machine guns. The hell? Bill is a solution to search of a problem that does not exist, and Representative Engel appears completely unaware of the lawful uses of flamethrowers, said Joshua Prince of the civil rights defense firm. Years after the original bill stalled in Congress, Engel introduced a new similar bill in 2018. Has met a similar demise due to its unpopularity. I love it. What are the products designed for? Ground clearing and controlled agricultural burns, ice and snow melting and clearing, incinerating weeds and other unwanted ground plants. I'm not going to lie, my mind read that as incinerating weeds and other unwanted guests. Backburns and pre-burns, pyrotechnics, film production and movie props. So it's regulated in Maryland. A flamethrower is defined as a destructive device. Flamethrowers are legal to own with a Type 9 federal firearms license. In California, units are sent with a smaller nozzle to be considered California compliant, resulting in an operational range of less than 10 feet. Oh, California! Boo! California users, please read the California Health and Safety Codes to ensure compliance before changing the tip that would produce a range over 10 feet. According to the California Health and Safety Code, flamethrowing devices means any non-stationary transportable device designed or intended to emit or propel a burning stream of combustible or flaming liquid a distance of at least 10 feet. We must let him know what Hayden has found. Give me a link to the story. I'll post it in the locals. All right, hang on. Where are we? I shall post in chat. There we go. Yeah, guests, exactly. You had it right, unwanted pests. Oh, we have a raid coming in from Gosney. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Much appreciated. You just missed our look at the flamethrower robot dog. A 10-foot flamethrower sounds better than a... What was that? Already found the video and linked it to people. Lovely. Speaking of guests, welcome Gosney folks. I'm not going to pull a flamethrower on you. Steve, cheers. Appreciate it. Just in time. I was just finishing up talking about the new flamethrowing robot dog that you can get for less than 10 grand. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Flying things that spit out flames like a fire horse need safety regulations. I know, right? I'm shocked. Why on earth would people think that? Ever? Oh, okay. So that's what I had on the flaming robot dog. Very quickly, we'll talk about... Hang on. No, that's the Indiana man shot on the lawn. That's a Prime Sports drink. Oh, there's been an update in the Billy Mitchell and Yost trial that's going ahead here, or is supposed to go ahead in August. Billy Mitchell's pissed off the judge. Not minded to suit his convenience, judge asks why former Donkey Kong world record holder can't attend proposed trial date. An American gamer and former world record holder, I think he still has a world record. Billy, don't come after me, I'm literally just reading the news. And anything that I say is purely my own personal opinion. And is in no way intended to be defamatory. And yes, I do have to cover my ass like this because based on this, he seems fairly litigious. And if I'm actually going to attend this trial and report back on it, I kind of want to be able to do so. The former world record holder is suing an Australian YouTuber for claiming that he was a cheat and has been given days to explain why he's not available for a proposed trial date. William Billy James Mitchell has launched legal action against Carl Jobst, a renowned video game YouTuber and speedrunner, over the allegations surrounding his top scores in the iconic 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong. Now, I've watched various videos about whether he did or didn't. Twin Galaxies settled his speedrun record for Donkey Kong. His high, actually, I think it's high score, not speedrun, has been added to their historical database. The details of the agreement have not been released, as one would sort of expect. And I kind of feel like this is... To quote the judge from the Lerman case, I think that this might be Billy going back to get his hat. So... Any illegal insights into owning a flamethrower in Florida. Judge is just jealous he can't game like this guy. They want Skynet because this is how we get Skynet. Yeah. Mr. Jobst is defending the claim with the trial in district court in Brisbane imminent. But on Friday, the court was told that there were difficulties securing a planned 5-day trial listing in August due to Mr. Mitchell being unable to travel to Australia that month. Dude, you brought the case. You are subject to the court's timelines. You can ask for an adjournment, but if it is purely because, it's, inconvenient for you, you're going to have to suck it up, Buttercup. The court was told Mr. Mitchell had a pre-existing commitment that month. District Court Judge Ken Barlow gave Mr. Mitchell's legal team until Monday to seek instructions from their client as to why he would not be available. I'm not minded to suit his personal convenience, nor should his honour do so. It kind of looked like an AI. Mr. Mitchell, who was introduced into the International Video Game Hall of Fame, formerly held world records for arcade games including Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, and Burger Time. He is seeking $450,000 in damages, alleging that Mr. Jobst defamed him in YouTube videos where he detailed allegations that Mr. Mitchell cheated to achieve high scores in Donkey Kong. There was arguments over whether or not an emulator was used, whether or not there was an original arcade game, whether there was attachments to an original arcade game. Apparently, something about watching his speedrun. Is that a speedrun? His record run, basically. Apparently, there was something in watching his record run that showed that there was a screen or something that could only be produced not on an original arcade machine. So, I don't know. Mr. Mitchell alleges 5 statements are untrue, including that he was publicly exposed as having cheated to achieve his high scores. I would disagree, because there was a whole kerfuffle saying that, yes, he cheated. Just because you're exposed as having cheated, and it's then later either swept under the rug or rectified, does not mean that at the time you are not exposed as being a cheater at that time. I would say there's a contextual truth defense there. It's less he cheated, more he used an emulated version. He claimed it was an official main machine. It's clearly not when you look at comparisons, says Jerome Fury. Okay. He planned to create a video. He had planned to create a video he fraudulently used as evidence. He achieved a score of 1,062,800 in Donkey Kong. Had callously expressed joy at the thought of another YouTuber's death. Well, if that is recorded anywhere, then that's going to be objective. So we'll see how that plans out for him. And then he used litigation to force third parties to recognize his achievements in video gaming. I would say that's opinion. And again, contextual truth, really. Casting Peter Dinklage as a parody of him in Pixels was perfect. That's what that was. The final statement he claims is untrue was that he was banned from submitting scores to the video game database Twin Galaxies, which officiates high scores for classic video games for cheating. Mr. Jobst is relying on statutory defense of contextual truth for the 5 statements. On Friday, the court was told that Mr. Mitchell's team would be calling up to 4 witnesses, including 1 expert. Mr. Jobst's barrister, Michael DeWard, said that they intended to call up to 4 witnesses and would be relying on a significant amount of documentary material. They're going to be playing a whole bunch of YouTube videos in the court. I want to go to this one. I said to the wife, would it be okay if we take a week holiday in August? And she's like, well, you realise that trial dates can change. Well, yeah. but I'm hoping it won't. And then boom, this article. The counter screen allowed you to time the game levels. Oh, no shit. Huh. Take things that don't matter for 500, Alex. Judge Barlow said ideal dates for the planned 5-day trial, which would also include 2 extra days of addresses by the parties, were in August and September. Mr. Mitchell's legal team said the client would not be able to travel in August, leading to Judge Barlow's question as to why. Attempts to contact Mr. Mitchell were unsuccessful. I'm shocked. Judge Barlow set down a further review date on Monday to allow his legal team to seek updated instructions. The parties were also ordered to prepare trial bundles to be delivered within several weeks of the proposed trial. In separate proceedings in the US, Mr. Mitchell sued Twin Galaxies for defamation after they suspended his scores and banned him from competing in the competitive leaderboards in 2018. In a statement, the organisation said that they had determined that Mr. Mitchell could not have achieved his Donkey Kong records on original unmodified arcade hardware. The basis for this decision was an independent investigation by Twin Galaxies, supported by a series of detailed submissions, experiments, and analysis by Twin Galaxies, and from the Twin Galaxies community, each with varying degrees of technical expertise and access to equipment, the statement said. Both parties settled in January this year. Mr. Mitchell's scores were reinstated, but only on the official historical database for Twin Galaxies' website. If that is a small screen I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, AP. All right, so let's go from one international lawsuit to another. We're going to go back and we're going to be talking about the E-Safety Commissioner and Musk because the simple fact is they're back in court today. And although I can't be there, I'm curious to see exactly what the latest is. But what we'll start with is the misinformation bill, because I do not talk about it anywhere near often enough. This is Labor's attempt at muzzling pretty much anyone online that's within the confines of Australia. And I say within the confines of Australia because as far as I'm concerned, what's going on with the E-Safety Commissioner and Musk and Twitter and all that sort of thing should be dead on arrival. At no point does the Australian government have any right to dictate what someone outside of Australia can and cannot say, do, or see. But anyway, let's talk about the disinformation bill. It is from Sky News because they did a nice little piece on it. I'm going to try and avoid using Sky News for the next few days. A, I don't want to be called biased, but B, I also don't want them to strike me.
First, if you hadn't been paying attention, you could be forgiven for thinking that Elon Musk had been going around Sydney stabbing people. Our political class have decided in the wake of the Bondi stabbings and the attack on a churchman that the greatest threat to public safety is Twitter. Everybody from the Prime Minister to the opposition leader has spent the past few days denouncing Elon Musk for the crime of, well, apparently it's a heinous crime to allow real people to show real footage of real things that really happened in real life. Our politicians don't like...
Well, that's really the point, Crazy Warlock, because as I've said multiple times, there are certain Australian politicians that, in my opinion, are completely bought and paid for. And Australia is used as a freaking petri dish. There have been certain laws that were rolled out here. 5 years later, we see them in the UK. 10 years later, we see them try to be implemented in the US. Thankfully, you guys fight back a little bit more. There's a lot of the Australian populace that, in my opinion, does have their heads stuck firmly either up their ass or in the sand. And if this is set as a precedent in a Western nation, you cannot tell me that other countries are not going to go, maybe this is something we should do. Maybe this is something we should institute, not only against our own citizens, but against the rest of the world entirely. I mean, imagine if China, for example, thought they had these kinds of rights. Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, they keep most things within the confines of their borders. But, and I said this on Twitter last night, the absolute most that I think the Australian government has any right towards, and this is only because there are certain dickhead Australians that voted for it, is geo-blocking. I detest geo-blocking. But that's what they've already ordered Musk and Twitter to do, is to geo-block that content and to block it from everyone in Australia that can see it. I don't care if that can be circumvented by a VPN. That is up to each individual Australian. The most they have the right to do is prevent someone from inadvertently witnessing something that may offend or disturb them. And even that, in my opinion, is more of a have a cup of concrete and harden the fuck up. In terms of geo-blocking, if someone wants to use a VPN to get around a geo-block and to view something of which they have an interest and a desire to learn and become more knowledgeable on, I feel like they have every right to. We're not talking about things like CP. We're not. So I know that's going to be the argument that people raise. And there are certain things that, in my mind, yes, fine, they are so vitriolic that they should be removed from the internet. But that doesn't mean that they're allowed to be. That doesn't mean that they can be. And this has been going on in numerous Western countries for years. Don't recognise this world anymore from the one I grew up in. Nope.
Life, they'd prefer us all to live in a fantasy world carefully curated by the e-safety Karen who determines what we should and should not see. Have a listen to Senior Government Minister Tanya Plibersek today.
It just beggars belief, really, doesn't it, that this guy, this egotistical billionaire, it's more important for him to have his way than to respect the victims.
Tanya Plibersek.
It's not about respecting the victims. I'm sorry, when did this whole thing of... Stabbing video was already shown on Australian news. Yes. The cat is already out of the bag. This is not about preventing Australians from seeing it. Anyone that wanted to see it probably already has by now. As far as I'm concerned, this is about a chick that worked for Twitter deciding that she wants to get her pound of flesh, frankly. But she never should have been put into the position that she is. Ego says, are journalists who feel they are a noble class who are above reproach. No, well, to be fair, Tanya Plibersek isn't a journalist. That is one of the government ministers talking like that. It's a messed up situation. Waiting for Musk to suspend the accounts of the government and all politicians to defend against offence and misinformation. That'd be nice.
Posted that to Twitter and failed to see the irony of using a egotistical billionaire's platform to criticise an egotistical billionaire. But the point remains, it's not the government's job to protect us from seeing bad things that happen to our neighbour just up the road. Nor is it the government's job to hide things from us because they either don't like or don't want the conversation that might ensue. Have a listen to Anthony Albanese today.
The pain of many people has been exacerbated by what occurred on social media, the broadcasting of violent images that have no place.
I'm not sure we honour the dead or the injured by preventing people from seeing what actually happened, such that those events become sanitised and the conversation...
I was going to say, doesn't that lead to... I mean, in the past, when that sort of mentality has been used, hasn't that led to the covering up of war crimes or to the twisting of history or to history denial? I don't like this. Tiananmen Square, yep.
Becomes muted. Anthony Albanese went on to say that the footage of the attacks had the potential to inflame things. And I think there's the key. Anthony Albanese doesn't have a problem with Elon Musk. He's got a problem with you and with me because he doesn't trust us to have difficult conversations, and he certainly doesn't seem capable of leading a difficult conversation himself. So he's turned Elon Musk into the attacker and Twitter into the knife. Now, just before we went to air this evening, the federal court granted the e-safety commissioner an injunction to prevent Twitter from showing footage of the church attack. No. The barrister for the e-safety commissioner told the court that if footage of the church attack was allowed to remain online, it would cause, and I quote, irreparable harm and stoke public division, which...
I'd also like to point out, this has only been in relation to the attack that took place in the church. So much to a such lesser extent of the footage that was put out about the Bondi attack. Most of the Bondi footage was as well, mostly footage of the dude running around with a knife or him after he was shot. Yeah. Elon goes around in a mask using a sword to cut necks on bad guys. Wouldn't that be nice?
Of course, raises the question, Caleb, should we get rid of footage of 9/11? Should we erase footage of the Bali bombings?
Yep.
Should
crap, it's Caleb Bond. Wait, Bond? This guy, honestly, probably 1 out of 10 times I agree with what he says. But I think it's because we look so similar. To me, he has one of the most punchable faces on the planet. But I think it's because I see so much of myself when I look at him. And it's really fucking frustrating. How does shielding people from reality help? It doesn't. All it does is creates a generation of bubble-wrapped, soy-based individuals that, you know, drop to the floor and demand that they go to the ER if they, like, bump into a doorway or something. Do not need a flamethrowing dog. I can do it myself by eating frijoles and jalapenos. Fair enough.
Albanese and Peter Dutton come and go through our personal DVD collection.
Well, of course, because long before you had social media, you had email, and I think we all remember how chain emails used to work. I mean, you want to talk about spreading misinformation, disinformation. It was happening.
Share this 50 times over or your mum's going to die.
It was happening via chain email long before social media existed. So are they proposing that they're going to have to start controlling what you can and can't email and what you can and can't send text messages? On the decision from the court tonight, they've not ordered that the videos be taken down yet, but they've said that there must be a warning put on top of them so you can't automatically see it. But curiously, it doesn't apply to any further posting of the video. So if you post the video tonight, the warning doesn't apply. It only applies to things that have already been posted. But Tanya Plibersek saying, you know, the egotistical billionaire, this must have been on the Labor talking points today, because another minister, Murray Watt, was talking about this on Sky today and basically said exactly the same words.
Elon Musk, he doesn't think he seems to owe any obligation to any member of the public. And quite frankly, I think the public's had a gutful of these narcissistic
I can't take this guy. How the fuck did he get voted in? How are people not laughing their way out of the polling booths? Or is it just that he didn't, for his advertising, he didn't use any pictures of himself and his face? Oh my God.
billionaires. I think it's entirely fair that we go after them.
And it's one thing to talk about the videos and whether or not you should be able to view the videos, and I believe that you should. But the Prime Minister is now cynically using this to also talk about misinformation, disinformation. And we know that this is an agenda that the federal government has been driving for more than a year. They have a misinformation, disinformation bill coming up that will essentially mean anything that you post on social media, I post on social media, anything we say here at Sky News, anything published in the newspaper, the Communication and Media Authority, a government bureaucratic arm, can come after you and tell you to take it down, and they can fine you if they believe that what you are saying is wrong. You're asking the government, or the government is asking itself, to have a bureaucratic outfit that decides what is and isn't the truth. It's the stuff of communist regimes.
It's literally a ministry of truth. And like I said, unfortunately, this is one of those times, the 1 out of 10, where I have to agree with him. And you know what? It's fine. I did him dirty with the paws face anyway. So
Albanese talked directly about misinformation, disinformation again today.
Now, surely there is now a recognition that misinformation is a problem on social media. This isn't about freedom of expression. This is about the dangerous implications that can occur when things that are simply not true, that everyone knows is not true.
You mean certain government propaganda that was put out over the last 2 and a bit years? Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm sorry, if the government had their way, if the misinformation, disinformation bill had been enforced prior to, say, 2019, I think we can all know exactly how that would have went.
Are replicated and weaponised in order to cause division, and in this case to promote negative statements and potentially to...
This is exactly what happened with Port Arthur. They're capitalising on a tragedy to try and restrict the rights of all Australians. Welcome to politicians telling us Aussies that we're too dumb and need to be protected from what we might see. Yep. So watching a dude ginzo a bunch of people didn't happen. Apparently. They're just out of sight, out of mind.
To just inflame what was a very difficult situation.
So we, the government, will decide what you can and cannot. I know.
About?
What he's talking about is that we will decide. We are the arbiters of the truth. And the New South Wales Police Commissioner, Karen Webb, basically suggested what is the logical conclusion of all of this last week. She said, don't look at social media. If you want to know what's going on, we are the only people to come to.
There is misinformation being communicated across social media, and people should not share any of that information. The source of information should be from police and law enforcement authorities. And if people have concerns, they should check our websites, our socials.
Now, look, having been a crime reporter, I can tell you that the police are not the only source of information. Quite often, it is information gathered by journalists that gets to you long before the police want you to know about it.
AP. No. They already are. There's already a push for more legislation to restrict blades over a certain length now. Forge. To forge requires hitting something. It's too much like work. Most people these days refuse to do work. True.
Because our job is to bring you the reality of what is going on. And that's what they want to stop. They don't want reality to be portrayed. It's the version of reality that they say is reality. Well, that is not truth.
Yeah. But first, if you hadn't been paying attention...
So, yeah. The disinformation, misinformation bill, I really need to fix that video up and actually get it out there. But basically, the government wants to put in place a piece of legislation whereby the ACMA...
Fair enough.
ACMA? The media authority, basically, would be able to determine what is and isn't misinformation or disinformation for the purpose of the for the purpose of the act. And basically give orders to social media and to social media companies, to news agencies, to whoever else. And basically, if they determine it to be disinformation, to censor it. It's literally they want a Ministry of Truth style situation. 1984 was supposed to be a warning, not a manual. Frankly, the entire crop of politicians in Australia at the moment need to be ousted. But it's not going to happen because they're all career politicians. Sounds dystopian? Yep. And guess what, Ashley? It's coming to a country near you because, as I said, Australia is the petri dish. We cop the shit first and then it expands around the rest of the Western nation because the governments see what they can get away with. And that's more or less exactly what is happening with Musk and the Safety Commissioner. Because, as I said, if for any reason this gets up and the federal court decides that, yes, the Australian government can extend its powers to apply to everyone on the face of the planet, do you honestly think other countries are not going to try it? Or just institute it? Not even try it. Just say, yes, we know that this is something that can be done. Here's the legislation to employ it. Boom. We're just making it what it is. Didn't know we were in a multiverse that we needed to know the truth of this reality versus the other universe's truth. So there's a case where a man is suing a woman's only dating app because he claimed... Yeah, that's the Tickle versus Giggle case. I haven't done an update on that in a few days. Mostly because I haven't really seen much in terms of reports, and I can't be stuff going to the court for that one. At this point, things are just getting so messed up that it's like it's very clear that they're trying to divide people. At a time when really we should be coming together to sort out things like housing crises, the economy, any number of other things. They're trying to drive wedges between people as much as possible. Divide and conquer, keep people bickering amongst themselves, keep them caught up in the rat race so they don't pay attention to what's going on, and continue to rake in the millions of dollars from taxes and whatever else, and take luxury jets to attend things, take... I don't believe that I can get into the whole rant about the government benefits that they receive, including the golden parachute that they receive a few $100,000 for the rest of their lives. Surely they'll just cry and threaten to ban X. Look, eventually I think that's the ultimate goal. I think that's what they want. In the long game, I think that the government knows that they cannot expand the powers beyond Australia. That there is no territoriality here where they are entitled to impose their will on every person on the face of the fucking planet. And so what they'll do is they'll restrict Twitter. They'll ban it from the area. And do you think people will stand up at some point? Honestly, no, I don't. Because, as I said, they've put everyday Australians into a position where we're already struggling. There are so many people that are homeless. There are so many people that are working just to make ends meet. Interest rates are sky high. The everyday Australians, even if they know this is going on, do not have the time, energy, and effort to fight back against it. And it's going to implode. That's what's going to happen. Thought Assassin's Creed was supposed to be fiction, but sometimes it's like the Templars are out there. Sometimes, yeah. That's everywhere though, Aussie. All politicians are trash and power grabbers. Yeah. This mofo. Do you mean me, or are you talking about the politicians that want us as slaves? I want a robot slave. I don't want a regular slave. United States Senate will have the votes to try to ban TikTok, but that's not how the bill is written. It's written to give the government. Hang on, that move. Give the government the ability to ban any social media. Oh, it's not going to stop at TikTok. What, are you kidding me? X is next, and then after that, it'll be anything where the social media companies don't bow down to the government. From Western Australia, you're 100% right. People have had their livelihoods stripped for not getting jabs, and everyone stood by and did nothing. This won't be different. Which is unfortunate, yeah. So I'm not going to lie. I'm quietly pressing the wife to let us move to another country. At some stage. Don't know if it'll happen, and I don't know where we're going to go, because it genuinely looks like shit's going sideways. But like I said the other night, that island with the house on it that's just in the middle of the ocean is looking better and better by the day. People are just too stupid or don't care. They're more concerned with who wins TV talent shows. Yep. Too many people are trying to pay for food in Australia, let alone pay attention to this shit. Pretty much what it boils down to, yeah. Okay, but let's have a look at it. The eSafety Commissioner and X are due back in court today. Here's what to expect. The social media platform X is expected to return to federal court today to argue why it should not have to hide footage of the Wakely stabbing. As it stands, the platform is in defiance of orders from both the online safety regulator and the federal court to do so. Oh, I was not aware that. I thought they said that they were capitulating. But owner Elon Musk wants a fight, pitting him against a furious prime minister. Yes, let's put them both in the room and let's see exactly what happens. My money's on a flick to the face. For Musk, it's a question of free speech. For Albanese, it's a question of social decency. Bullshit. It's a question of social censorship and dictatorship. Also at issue is the other question with far-reaching implications. How much authority do national governments have to enforce their own laws in the borderless online spaces where so much civic discourse now happens? Hint, they don't. A government is put in place to make rules for their own citizenry. No one else. And if you're going to try and apply that sort of extraterritoriality to other continents, to other countries, to anything outside your own borders, you're a fuckwit. And you need to be ousted. Government wants to lecture others on decency. That's funny. Yep. Slayer selections. Hello. The TikTok ban is way more dangerous than just TikTok. It literally gives the president the power to carte blanche, ban or outlaw anything he doesn't like. Yeah. And people are eating this shit up. The combatants are likely to fire off their opening salvos in court today, although the timing has not yet been confirmed, and here's what to expect. That would explain why I couldn't find it on the court docket. The dispute began last Tuesday when the eSafety Commissioner, Julie Inman Grant, formerly of X, ordered X and Meta, owner of Facebook and Instagram, to remove footage of the stabbing of Assyrian preacher Mamari Emmanuel. She has the legal authority to do so under the Online Safety Act passed in 2021, which empowers the eSafety Commissioner to demand the removal of so-called Class 1 material. Legal authority is a bit of a stretch. Yes, there is legislation in place. Does it actually apply internationally? No. Basically creates a new position of Supreme Chancellor in the US. Oh, God. Oh, right. That should not be on top chat. That includes depictions of violent crime, child offences, and other revolting or abhorrent phenomena that offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults. Failure to comply can result in a penalty of up to $782,500 in each instance. Meta complied and said that it has deployed software to prevent any fresh posting of the material. Isn't it terrifying to think that Facebook already had that ready to go within 2 days' notice? But X said the order was an overreach, threatening legal action, but promising to comply in the interim. According to eSafety, X didn't comply in the interim because it only geo-blocked the content rather than removing it, which is all you can legally require them to do. Geo-blocking hides the content from Australian users only, but that can be circumvented by anyone using a VPN, an easily accessible technology which obscures the user's geographical location. eSafety argued that that wasn't good enough and sought an injunction in federal court on Monday. Lawyers for X said they had not had enough time to consult their client and weren't ready to argue the case. The judge settled on a 2-day injunction. X would have 24 hours to hide the material, but could return to court on Wednesday to argue a longer-term injunction. Should call the title Supreme Chancellor of Fuckwittery. Works for me. I hate TikTok because of the app permissions, but it shouldn't be banned. Limited to adults, yes, but not banned. Look, I'm not a TikTok fan, but frankly, as a social media... I don't call myself an influencer. What would you call me? A social media personality? I kind of feel like it was necessary to give it a go. I am not popular on TikTok. So I've been able to just, you know... To quote Borat, we say to give a woman power is crazy is like giving a gun to a monkey. Now, Wednesday's rolled around and X has not hidden the material, but a second hearing is still expected. The central issue is whether the eSafety Commissioner's powers under the Online Safety Act are limited to content that appears in Australia. Yes. Or whether they can also cover content visible overseas. No. Let me put it this way. Murdoch owns a bunch of media companies here in Australia. He also owns a whole bunch of media companies around the world. This could theoretically be extended to say, oh, hang on, Murdoch's got a significant influence here in Australia. This happened in Australia. There's a causal link between that. We're going to stop Murdoch from showing something on TV in America. It's no different. It's bullshit. Have to add you to my TikTok feed. Don't bother, Slayer. I posted like 3 videos and I got 10 views, so... Wait, no, I think I did like 10 different videos and I got like single-digit views on most of them, so I stopped. The Online Safety Act is not explicit about this, but it does not discuss the issue of VPNs. Under common law, courts typically presume a law does not apply extraterritorially outside of Australia unless it is made explicit. But lawyers for the eSafety argued in the initial hearing on Monday that only reasonable interpretation of law was that it did cover overseas content, since the law is... The legislation doesn't even fucking mention it, and they're still pulling the bullshit. Since the law is about online safety for Australians, and Australians can easily see content available anywhere in the world via a VPN. So regulate VPN use in Australia. There are reasonable legal avenues for you to pursue this, rather than going all out nuclear and looking like dickheads on the world stage. I'm not saying that they should ban VPNs. I'm saying that you can't use that as an excuse for saying, yes, something must be banned on an international platform for all users globally, because there's a possibility that Australians might view it. In a series of posts on X, Musk said he regards this as a global censorship. Yes. Our concern is that if any country is allowed to censor content for all countries, then what is to stop any country from controlling the entire internet, he posted. Since acquiring Twitter, which he renamed X, Mr. Musk has taken a much more permissive approach to hosting content other social media platforms would typically disallow. Although his tenure began with a spree of banning of users who mocked him, he has since restored many accounts which have been blocked for hate speech to the dismay of advertisers. Diddums. Pretty sure there's a whole bunch of like advertisers that flock back anyway. Tried TikTok once, it was awful. The issue was one of freedom of speech to hear things that challenge the status quo or the questions that be. Sure, there's a copy of the video on Reddit. Are they going to go after them too? They just want to go back to communism? Yep. And look, I shudder to issue the name, but I'm going to talk about this as well. Because the eSafety Commissioner a couple of years ago issued a cease and desist and a takedown notice to Kiwi Farms. We looked at that. I pulled up the documents. Josh's response and saying, "This is a US-based company, get fucked," was quite poignant and accurate. So, the laissez-faire approach has inspired insults from Australian politicians across the political spectrum. Opposition leader Peter Potato Dutton accused him of acting above the law. Because he is outside of Australian law. This law has no right to go beyond our boundaries. Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young called him a narcissistic cowboy, and Senator Jackie Lambie called him a knob. Oh, I forgot about the Jackie Lambie footage. We'll get there. But concern over the global implications of domestic censorship laws is broader than Elon Musk and X. Meta, which complied with the e-safety's orders, has attracted criticism from civil liberty advocates for removing dissident political content at the request of authoritarian leaders, and has also moved to reduce the prominence of political content on its sites entirely. That frames the Australian court battle as a global canary in the coal mine on the intersection between national content laws and international tech giants. So what happens if X ignores the courts? More immediately, it's not clear whether the federal court will resolve the dispute over the Wakely stabbing footage. X does not appear to have complied with the court order to hide the relevant material ahead of today's hearing, but even that is difficult to tell for certain because eSafety's removal notices listed specific URLs. Are you freaking kidding me? You listed the specific URLs instead of the... Oh my god. It's not even that you said ban the video, it's that you said ban this video at this specific URL. Timothy Webb, a tech law specialist at the law firm Clayton Klutz, or as a client that I have calls him Klutz, said this would leave the regulator playing whack-a-mole even if it succeeded in court. URLs might enable X Corp to identify those posts if it wished to do so, but it doesn't stop other posts. Posts featuring footage of the attack remain available to Australians on X, including several posts from Senator Ralph Babbitt of Clive Palmer's... One of the senators has this posted. Mr. Webb said it was also unclear whether the federal court injunction would be recognised in the US if X did not voluntarily comply. It should not. On the basis of the First Amendment, if someone tries to have this recognised in an American court, I am praying with you guys. Somebody challenge it. Australia and the US don't have a treaty for reciprocal recognition of foreign judgments. Typically subject to certain requirements, the US courts are willing to entertain foreign judgments for monetary sums, but injunctions are a whole different story, he said. That may put the onus back on the government to contemplate more drastic measures against the company, such as a ban. I can see Musk building a giant rig in the middle of the ocean to get out of any country and host stuff from there, kind of like New Pirate Radio. That'd be funny. If Xi Jinping told Australia to remove all images of Winnie the Pooh, we'd laugh in his face. No, LD... There have been plenty of people that have bent over backwards to comply with that. Because it wasn't all that long ago that he was complaining that someone compared him to Winnie the Pooh. Xi Jinping. Whatever the decision, it can expect to clash with X in the future, again, if it pursues more expansive online crackdown powers via the Misinformation-Disinformation Bill. An early draft of the bill is widely panned, including by the Australian Human Rights Commissioner, who labelled it vague and over-restrictive of free speech. The government has promised to try again later this year. A spokesperson of Communications Minister Michelle Rowland, which that's really the main reason I haven't done any updates on the disinformation bill, because there are going to be further revisions as to prior to what it's, before it's tabled in Parliament. And it's like, I want to see exactly what they've done, what they've changed, what I can compare and contrast, and go for the jugular, really. Spokesperson of Communication Minister Michelle Rowland confirmed that the timeline and the bill was about ensuring that social media companies are held to account for seriously harmful material on their platforms. It is expected to go much further than the current laws, which are limited to graphic depictions and could cover a wide variety of malicious and misleading political content, a more ambitious undertaking likely to draw objections from a much broader set of voices than Mr. Musk and his supporters. I should damn well hope so. Now, where did I put... Ah, there it is.
Musk has no...
See, I used to have respect for this woman, but it's gone completely out the window. This is one of her senators, Jackie Lambie.
Elon Musk has no social conscience or conscience whatsoever. I don't know, whatever Elon Musk is on, it says that that's okay to continue to air that is absolutely disgusting behaviour. And quite frankly, the bloke should be jailed. And the sooner that we can bring rules in or do something about this sort of game playing with our social media, the better off we're going to be. But quite frankly, the power that man has, because of that platform that he's on, it's got to stop. It has absolutely got to stop.
Because we don't like a private individual having that kind of power to make sure that the government is held to account. And by providing a platform for individuals to circumvent things that we don't want them to see or that we don't like. Tivnall said, is there anyone working to get a protected right of free speech in Australia? Not going to happen anytime soon. There are various organisations that are lobbying, that are pushing for it and that sort of thing. In order to get the level of protected free speech that we want and deserve, it would require a referendum, which means that you would require the major parties in the government to support it, and they're never going to do it. Sam Dastyarity and the rest of the Labor Party delivering large Aldi bags full of Chinese dollars should do the job. That's funny. All right, I'm not going to go back over that. Let's switch sides and not switch sides. Let's change gears, shall we? Sorry, 1 second. Where are we? Oh yeah. Women are paying $500 to get salmon sperm injected into their vages in order to boost their sex lives. I swear to God, you crazy kids and your strange things these days. These women will try any fin to improve their sex lives. Women are paying $500 to have salmon semen injected into their vages to help a floundering sex life. A lot of older women come to me and say they are not having any kind of sexual arousal anymore. Amanda Azzopardi, an anaesthetic nurse who runs clinics in London, Liverpool and North Wales, told the Daily Mail. So we do the O shot, and they're reporting stronger and more frequent orgasms, including increased natural lube and greater arousal. An O shot is a non-surgical treatment intended to rejuvenate the vag and increase sexual arousal, and is alleged to typically show results in about 2 to 4 sessions. Look, we all know that there's a certain segment of society that screw dogs. Don't screw fish. And you can't tell me this isn't going to be... You can't tell me that this isn't going to be an excuse for the smell. Thought that this was a Babylon Bee joke. Nope. Someone watched the Fallout TV series and thought that was a good idea. Several kinds of injections are used for the procedure, including the patient's own blood or salmon sperm. It's obviously life-changing for them, as a party said. As people age, their skin often loses elasticity, which can lead to dryness and to painful sex. According to Peach and Lily, which sells marine jewel capsules from Shangpri, a skincare line and soil-based spa, DNA extracted from salmon sperm has potent regenerative qualities, work not only on a superficial level, but sinking deeply into the skin to work within, encouraging cell turnover that, in turn, helps firm skin and maintain its elasticity. The purified and sterilized salmon DNA molecules, officially called polynucleotides, also have anti-inflammatory effects that essentially rejuvenate the skin anywhere on the body. Did I hear that? Screw fish like trout? Yep. Okay, but who the hell discovered this and that it works in the first place? It's a damn good question. The purified and sterilized DNA molecules, thank God, because could you imagine the fish-woman hybrid? Also have anti-inflammatory effects. The fishy semen has been a staple in Korean skincare for many years, often mentioned on product ingredient lists or injected into the face. Gained traction in the US last year after Jennifer Aniston revealed she once sampled a salmon sperm facial, admitting to the Wall Street Journal that she will try almost anything to keep her skin looking young. Try harder. You know, she used to be my celebrity hall pass. One study done in 2017 just demonstrated that salmon sperm helped repair cellular damage, speed up healing of wounds. Well, we know this because they do the fish skin on like burns and open wounds and that sort of thing. And diminished inflammation. Other studies have shown that the proteins found in the sperm help reduce signs of aging. Dr. Kenneth Beer, here, hold my beer, a cosmetic dermatologist from West Palm Beach in Florida, previously told the Post. A 2010 study published in the International Journal of Cosmetic Science found that the DNA in the sperm contained higher water content, increased skin elasticity, stronger collagen levels, and increased production of hyaluronic acid. Did Laura Owens come up with this? I'm too afraid to ask. These men, they're fucking fish. This isn't science. Another report done on mice in 2016 found that the salmon sperm DNA increased blood flow to the skin and was beneficial in healing wounds. Several studies have demonstrated its healing power, and it's sometimes used to promote healing. It has not been used only to heal the skin, but also to heal damaged livers. Beer, founder of Scientific RX, skincare, and director of Cosmetic Boot Camp. These treatments may seem a little fishy, but some people will do just about anything to look and feel how they used to. Please let Darwin hand out some more rewards. That'd be nice. So there's that. Imagine being the poor woman that goes in for a stock photo shoot and then winds up being the face of fish sperm in vag. Oh, man. Just like, seriously. Grindr is being sued for allegedly revealing users' HIV status. Kind of on the fence about this one. Grindr, the world's biggest dating app for the LGBT community, is being sued for allegedly sharing personal information such as people's HIV status with third parties. Okay, that's a no-no. According to the claim lodged in the High Court in London, covert tracking technology was deployed and highly sensitive information was illegally shared with advertisers. Law firm Austin Hayes says that there's more than 650 claimants and thousands of UK users were affected. Grindr says that it will vigorously respond to the claim. A Grindr spokesperson said that the company takes privacy extremely seriously and added that the claim appears to be based on a mischaracterization of practices from more than 4 years ago. Austin Hayes says that if the case is successful, claimants could receive thousands of pounds in damages. The claim form submitted to the High Court says that the law firm hopes to claim more than £100,000 in total. Chaya Hanmunmanji from Austin Hayes, who is the lawyer leading the claim, said that the claimants experienced significant distress over the highly sensitive and private information being shared without their consent. Grindr owes it to the LGBTQ+ community that it serves to compensate those whose data has been compromised. The dating app is being used by 13 million people every month, and an Ofcom report from May 23 found that it was used by roughly 924,000 people in the United Kingdom alone. It also had the highest engagement of all dating apps, with people using it for an average time of 6 hours and 49 minutes in that month. The internet has replaced the snake oil salesman's wagon. So many jokes, so little time. An Indiana man has been accused of shooting his neighbor over a lawn mowing dispute. We've officially reached the portion of the show where we're going to be talking about people inadvertently or advertently, purposefully or not, being shot. Browns Valley, Indiana. A central Indiana man is claiming self-defense after police said that he shot his neighbor who was mowing grass near his property line. Timothy Florence, 53, was arrested on Sunday morning by Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies after he allegedly shot his neighbor with a handgun. He was later booked into jail and charged with attempted murder. Deputies responded to a property in Browns Valley after receiving a call about the shooting at about 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. Upon arrival, they found a 55-year-old man had been shot once with a handgun while mowing near his property line. The victim initially looked on at the scene by EMS. Jesus. Can't read. The victim was initially looked at by EMS before being flown to Indianapolis area hospital with life-threatening injuries. He's currently listed as stable but critical. I've never understood that. According to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Court records show that an eyewitness filmed cell phone video of the altercation. The video reportedly shows Florence holding a leaf blower near the victim, who was sitting on a zero-turn riding mower near the property line. Deputies who saw the video say that it showed the victim blowing the cut grass off his property as Florence blew it back towards him with his leaf blower. Florence also reportedly pointed the leaf blower directly at the victim, blowing air at him. The victim then began mowing in Florence's direction, almost hitting his leg and causing him to step aside and blow air at the victim again, the court documents allege. Florence then went behind the mower to the other side of the victim, drew the handgun from his holster, and shot the victim, according to authorities. Police interviewed Florence's wife, who said she was watching TV at the home when she suddenly heard a gunshot. She said she went to the front door and saw the victim leaning over the mower as Florence walked towards her, said, "Get in the house, I just shot the victim." Florence's wife reportedly told deputies she felt the shooting was in self-defense. Florence himself agreed. The guy that did the shooting says that it was in self-defense and agrees with his wife saying that it was self-defense. Woman, you weren't looking. You can't have known. You can't have seen. What are you... Obviously, you're going to try and protect your husband. But what are you doing? Come on. Suspect told deputies that he was in fear for his life and shot his neighbour one time with a Glock 43 9mm that he had in his side holster, according to the court records. Police said as the interview went on, Florence eventually said he was done talking. The admission caused deputies to arrest Florence and charge him with attempted murder. The sheriff's office has not provided any further information with regards to the shooting. No, that's just a Miranda warning video. Okay, so that's the guy that did the shooting. See, here's the thing. How the hell do you prove that this is self-defense or not? Arguably, someone trying to run you over with a lawnmower is a life-threatening situation. But he admits that he walks around from one side of the lawnmower to the other, and then pulls the gun and shoots the guy. So unless the guy had turned the mower in his general direction again, we really need to see that footage, but the police aren't going to release it. I can tell you that right now. If anyone wants to get on a FOIA request, that'd be brilliant. That's for mowing at 5 a.m. in the morning. Oh, no. Felon who eluded cops after swinging a sword and huffing nitrous has been found in a porta potty. In Portland, Oregon, an Oregon felon wanted for secondary kidnapping, reckless endangerment, and illegal gun possession charges was tracked down in a porta potty after he allegedly led authorities on a 3-day chase through rural Lane County. The Lane County Sheriff's Office said that the 33-year-old Andrew Hamilton Dimmick of Crawfordville was seen wielding a sword and huffing nitrous oxide at 11 a.m. near Terwilliger Hot Springs on Saturday. Dimmick left the area before Oregon State Police arrived on the scene. However, a sheriff's deputy found Dimmick driving in the area and attempted to make a traffic stop. Dimmick allegedly fled from the pursuing deputy, who chased him down a gravelly U.S. Forest Service road. Eventually, the vehicle stopped due to a downed tree blocking the road, and Dimmick fled on foot. A sheriff's canine and 2 Eugene Police Department canines responded and began searching the area. After several hours of difficult terrain, they were unable to locate him. After eluding authorities, he was once again spotted with a sword at Terwilliger Hot Springs and asking for a ride into town on Sunday. The Sheriff's Office deputies, Oregon State Police, and the Springfield Police Department, as well as 2 law enforcement canines, were dispatched to the scene. A little overkill, but I get it. However, they were unarmed. How did he evade them again? It's not like a guy is just going to randomly be walking around with a sword. What the fuck? On Monday at 7:20 p.m., local residents spotted Dimmick near the Chevron station on Mill Creek Road. Citizens kept an eye on Dimmick until sheriff's deputies and state officers arrived on the scene. Authorities say Dimmick was found hiding in a porta potty. Dimmick attempted to hide in a porta potty, but surrendered after several minutes. "I'm on the shooter, give me a minute!" In Soviet Russia, lawnmower rides you. You said Terwilliger, right? I should hope so. Bob Terwilliger from The Simpsons. I know how to read. What kind of lawnmower are we talking about? Some sort of ride-on. Speed up the footage and play yakety sax. Dimmick was booked into the Lane County Jail for outstanding charges and for fleeing a sheriff's deputy on April 19. Dumbass. I suppose we do kind of have to talk about this. Ex-school cop is on the run after allegedly killing teacher and ex-wife at their home in a school. Murdered girlfriend and abducting kid on the day he was due in court for child rape. This was yesterday. I can't remember whether or not he's been caught in the meantime or not. I think he may have been. Don't quote me on that, though. An ex-school cop is on the run after allegedly gunning down his ex-wife and his 17-year-old girlfriend in Washington State on the same day that he was due to face charges on child rape charges. Police are frantically hunting for Elias Huizar, 39. 39 and you've impregnated a 17-year-old? You piece of shit. who they say is armed and likely to commit more crimes after he was accused of carrying out the double slaying on Monday and then fleeing, possibly to Mexico, with his 1-year-old son. Cops were alerted to the horror crime spree just before 3:30 p.m. after he allegedly shot his ex-wife, Amber Rodriguez, outside of the William Wiley Elementary School where she worked in West Richland. Okay, here's the face of the guy we're looking for, people. After they searched for him, officers then uncover the body of his underage girlfriend, identified by relatives as Angelica Santos, in his home just minutes from the school. The second victim is the mother of his now missing 1-year-old, Roman, who relatives said on social media. His relationship with the teen girl is one of the 2 child rape charges that he was due in court for on Monday. I'm sorry, what now? One of the 2? And it wasn't... What? She was only one of the... He deleted himself a couple of hours ago after the chase. The child is fine. Well, the child's not fine, but I'm glad the child is okay. Huizar was arrested on February 3 after his girlfriend reported him to the cops for allegedly raping her unconscious 16-year-old friend after a night drinking at his home. He was slapped with charges with second-degree rape, furnishing alcohol to minors, and a third-degree rape tied to his relationship with the teen. The former cop was later released on a $200,000 bond on the condition that he stayed away from both underage girls and refrained from drinking alcohol. Yeah, that was going to happen. Meanwhile, the alleged slaying of his ex-wife unfolded just days after she filed for change of custody arrangements with the 2 kids they share, aged 5 and 9, according to court documents obtained by the local outlet. After their divorce in 2020, Rodriguez had requested a protection order over fears for her and the kids' safety. She claimed her ex was harassing her since the divorce and that he was armed. A hearing for the custody arrangement had been set for the 14th of May. And that's the 17-year-old and the 1-year-old. It wasn't immediately clear where Huizar's children were as the double slaying unfolded. Cops believe that Huizar may now be en route to Mexico with his child, according to the alert put out. So that means that there are now 3 children that are parentless because of this dipshit. Huizar served with the local police department between 2014 and 2022. During his tenure, he was assigned to serve as a cop at Washington Middle School in Yakima. I just want to poke him in the eye. Alright, let's end on this one. Japanese sugar baby gets 9 years for scamming men out of 155 million yen. A 25-year-old Japanese woman was given 9 years prison sentence on Monday for defrauding 3 men out of a total of 155 million yen on a dating app and selling a manual on how to scam men out of their money. Well, I've got to give it this. She's entrepreneurial. The Nagoya District Court also fined Mai Watanabe, known by the moniker Itadaki Joshi Riri-chan, literally Sugar Baby Riri, 8 million yen for the scams. Prosecutors had sought a 13-year sentence and a fine of 12 million yen. The crime is a very insidious one, utilizing sweet talking to make victims from a dating app fall in love, said presiding judge Yoichi Omura, adding that the manual encouraged similar crimes. According to the indictment, between March 21 and August 23, Watanabe duped a man in his 50s with a story that she needed money to pay off debt, swindling approximately 117 million yen from him. She told 2 other men a similar story and bilked them out of a total of about 38 million yen between April and August 2023. The court also convicted her of selling her manual to a woman and evading income tax by hiding around 40 million yen derived from the scams. In this case, I helped expose to the net. Yes, you did. We can all thank Jason J for passing this one on to me. Thought they were still trying to find him because they did a rubbish police interview thing. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention. I was just... Don't we have to? Hey, remember we were talking about the flamethrowing robot dog? After the last story, some women are better with the fish. It's a good point. But anyway... Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. Got some lawyer work to do. So I'll, I guess I'll see you all later. As always, hang on. button. As always, remember, you are not a piece of shit. You have value and you do contribute to society, and thank you very much for being here. Double check whether or not you've hit that like button on the way out, and maybe just check whether or not you're still subscribed. Hang on, what's this? What was that? Breaking news? US Senate has approved the bill that will ban TikTok in the United States unless its parent company ByteDance agrees to divest. Sounds about right. But anyway, I'll be back later, guys. But as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Oh, remember, tomorrow is the Anzac Day special. Well, tomorrow my time. Tomorrow, wait. What is it? Because it's 12 hours, so it's currently... It's Wednesday for me, so it's Tuesday in the US right now. The Wednesday evening show US time is going to be the Anzac Day special. So, but yeah, as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Cheers, peeps.
I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.